So the parts you'll be needing is first piece of metal to attach everything on, bearing to the metal, then you have to attach the bearing with some screw and nut. Then to attach the motor, first you need a motor, two motor screws depending on the size. Size doesn't matter. A screwdriver for the small one, since you can really do this one by hand, axle and shaft collar.
The first step in adding a motor to your robot is adding a bearing where you want the motor to go. The reason you add a bearing is so there's no metal to metal contact on your robot, and the bearing reduces that.
We're doing a voiceover, so I can talk.
Just
stop! Kyle, clean that up!
The bearing on. And then you add the motor. So we're gonna add the motor in right on here, and the axle is gonna go through the bearing into the motor once we screw it all on.
Alright, so screw it into this one right here so we can put the axle in there. Just like her. And then other one into this one, since we use a small one. You can use a bigger one, but small one works too. Screw it in tight, make sure it's not wobbly.
The next thing we have to do, once we have the motor attached, is get the axle in the motor attached so that we can spin the gear.
Like a solid $50. I'm curious as to what it would do if you had it like as soon as it went negative, as soon as it was positive, it went in.
Okay, so to get it to stay in, we'll have to add a shaft collar on it. We don't want the shaft collar directly on the metal, so we're gonna have to first put a little spacer on.
Okay. Like I'm kind of curious to see like how that would work.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Because like then you would be there for all of the ups and not for all of the downs. But you wouldn't get as many ups because you're helping to induce the downs.
Okay. Now that you have the shaft collar on and the axle is in the motor, you can tighten the shaft collar. You have to tighten it on the flat of the axle.
Really, really hard.
Really hard. Like
it's gonna be so hard. I mean, difficult.
Once you have it tightened,
it'd be a big veiny.
the axle isn't going to come out of the motor. So you've got yourself a proper motor.